Hello, hello, hello. It is summertime. We have made it. We are live. Welcome to your business in digital. Happy, happy summer. How are you doing, Michael? How's this summer treating you?
This has been a good summer. It's always too short. Always.
All right. Well, we are running live across Facebook. We're doing a little bit of Instagram. We're here for a little bit, but we're on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So, super excited to be here with your business in digital, the summer wrap up. So, that is what we're doing today. I'm going to lean All right. So we are back. We are back. So, all right, Michael, what is the summer wrap up? What are we talking about today in the summer wrap up? So, we have a few things. And then, of course, we have a guest. So, this is going to be a quick in and out. We're looking at about 20 minutes, right? So, let's start talking about what has happened this summer in digital. There have been so many things. So many
Listen,
things have happened.
so many things have happened this summer, but at the same time, it's like not much has changed in terms of what you're trying to achieve in digital, right? So we're still very much focused on customer experience, on that customer journey, on delivering that converting type of experience, right? But over the summer, we saw some big things. We saw the biggest thing being Twitter is now X, right? I felt like I was at a Prince concert for some reason. I'm not sure. But Twitter is now X, right? And Twitter continues to kind of, go up and down because, of course, it's about the advertisers and the advertising dollars. Are you getting that return on your ad spend? You know, is it getting in front of the relevant audiences? And next to Twitter or X is, of course, AI. AI has been the biggest disruptor, not just in operations, but in marketing in a huge way. It's impacting everything we do. And there are a lot of things that are coming out of that, right? Because are we marketing as marketers? Are we now marketing to an AI, right? So some really good questions there. Google trying to figure out, well, are they going to rank you higher, lower, etc., if you're using AI generated content? And finally, but not least, we got some trends out of HubSpot as well, right? So CRMs have been really major in terms of getting that to that customer experience that you want, making sure you have that one point of contact, that one source of information. So it's been a pretty full summer. Now, all this to say, I'm going to add one more thing tomorrow, one more thing, that summer is such an interesting time from a working perspective because people are in and out on holidays, etc. Everybody's trying to get something done. So we know that coming into September, coming into this last quarter, marketing ramps up for most of us. So hence today's show, what has digital done for you lately?
Well, I love that. I love that. So, so my thoughts. You didn't talk about threads. Did you say threads? I don't think I heard you say threads.
How could I forget Threads? The largest.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start here. Let's just dive in right here to Threads, right?
Yeah.
So Threads launched July, basically the start of July,
Right.
and direct competitor to, of course, X. I don't even know which one to say now. Like every time I go to
Formerly
say it, I
known
have to
as,
pause.
known as Twitter X, whatever.
Formerly known as the platform formerly known as, right? And it saw the largest rise. It got is the fastest to 100 million users. All good stuff. But up to the start of August, that usage dropped almost 79%, right? But they're saying, an opportunity still remains because the 100 million did sign up, whether they're using it or not, right? So Threads continues to push. They've just launched their app, which is, touted to solve some of the issues with Threads. But we'll see where Threads goes and if the uptake continues or if it continues to decline and if Meta just phases it out and calls it something else.
Yeah.
Your thoughts tomorrow.
So many thoughts. They're not. They haven't. It's a new thing. 5 years from now, they'll monetize it, and it'll be the next big thing. So what they have is earning potential, right? An opportunity. So the fact that everyone joined and people died off, that is what happens with new social media. So we can't expect it. And I think they understand that, right? They built something from nothing as Facebook, and now it's like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. So I look to Threads for the future. I'm not concerned about it right now. Once they start advertising the connection with Instagram, there's so many really good parts to it. And I think once it starts to work in a way that makes sense for people, we're going to see people go back into that space. The whole X thing, man. Oh my goodness, I have to save my Elon thoughts before his people come for me. But it's always I don't get it. So I just don't get it. I don't get the rebranding. I don't get it. I want to see where he goes. I want to understand where the business is going to go. But as a business owner, you have to think, if this is still working for you and driving you revenue, and this is where you are driving your revenue, you want to stay focused on this platform and understand everything about it. But you also want to look at the other opportunities, right? Where the other opportunities, a lot of advertisers have still come off the platform. So where are the other opportunities and other channels and platforms? So you definitely want to be thinking about that. And what else did we talk about? So there is Twitter, or X. There's CRM. There's always CRM. CRMs are important. They are really the infrastructure for your business. It helps you to, it's an all-in-one solution that really helps you to see everything going on with your business, the analytics. And we love HubSpot. So we are always talking about that. So I think you're right. The summer, everyone is away and they come back. And in September, we get really busy because everyone's like focused on, we need to get this stuff done by Q4. So if you're already thinking about it, jump in ahead of the game, think about your digital marketing strategy, think about all these new tools, start planning now. September is fast approaching. So really start planning now, and we will show up here consistently to help guide you in that process. So always excited to talk about digital here at Monovan Digital and here at Your Business in Digital. So I think that's it for me.
Well, not quite. So the one that we haven't discussed, which is the biggest disruptor, is AI. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So the AI disruption. Now we are creating content and we are leveraging AI. So AI is being touted as, the best thing for small businesses. It kind of goes with how a small business can be nimble.
Right.
But it raises some interesting questions as far as, how does this relate to search? We definitely uncovered that what you're looking at is your content has to become more contextual, right? So you've got to say, if you were ranking for a keyword, say best consulting firm, you've got to add a why to it. Why is it the best consulting firm? What are the reasons that so we're expanding on that idea of a FAQs that provide that why. But we still yet to see how that search is going to be disrupted by that AI. So are we as marketers now marketing to AI rather than to people? That becomes the big question, right?
So I think we have to start thinking about it from a standpoint of, is your business prepared for AI, right? So as you said, it's a deeper FAQs, but it's more of a consultative piece, right? Eric talked about that a lot when he was here. How are you setting up your business and how are you representing your business? So if someone searches for your business, that they're able to understand what you do, how you've done it, how you've worked with people before. You need to answer all their questions, not just those the first few questions that they ask. And then you need to give them suggestions, right? Because we're going to AI to make our lives a little bit easier. So while using AI as a part of the structure, it's also how do you prepare your business for AI? So that's something we should definitely be thinking about. We should also do a show on that, right? Bring Eric back in and talk about how do you prepare a business for AI, because that's going to be really important. And in using AI tools as well, I see AI copy all over the place, and you can tell when people are just using AI. Tweak the copy, make sure your brand voice is a part of that copy. It's super important. And I think, Jeff, who's going to join us shortly, he talked about it being AI is your sous chef. So you really have to add all the other trimmings to take things to the next level. So make sure that AI, you don't get so caught up in the disruption and the talk about AI, and understand how this is going to play back and connect to your business goals. Everything new, you kind of have to take a step back and be like, all right, how does this connect to my business goals? What am I trying to achieve? What does AI bring to the table? What are the opportunities? What are the disadvantages? Do a quick SWOT analysis for AI in your business, and then understand how people are going to search and how you need to now set your business up for AI to read it, find you, and present you, because of course it's going to be connected with search. So it's my 2 cents.
That's more like $1, right?
Yeah, right. More like $100. But anyway, we joined Instagram for a little bit just to kind of give people a taste of what we're doing. But if you want to continue listening to us, we are definitely on Facebook. We are going to be on LinkedIn. We're continuing this conversation on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So definitely join us there. We just wanted to pop in and say, hey, happy summer. So have a great summer, guys. We'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye. All right. So we are, it is time to bring our guests to the show, to the stage. Of course, we love to do our Go Beyond the Likes segment. And Go Beyond the Likes for us is when we, really take a deeper dive into any conversation around digital, because it has to be beyond likes and follows. And super excited to bring Jeff Krum to the stage. Yay, Jeff. Wait, I have audio.
I know what to say. We have sound effects.
What are my sound effects? How are you doing, Jeff? How's this summer been treating you?
Well, thank you. Very well. It's been a beautiful summer. Thank you.
Nice. Awesome. So what are we talking about today, guys? What is going on in the digital space?
Well, let's Jeff, please, first, a little bit about you, a little bit about your story, right? Because we know we love you, right? You are our poster boy, right? So tell us a bit about yourself and your digital journey.
Well, thank you. Thanks. Yeah. I've been in educational publishing my entire career, in English language teaching, to be specific, for a couple of different companies. And, I started out at a time where it was all analog, and, then desktop publishing, all the things coming on with social media, and it really changed everything, and having to get on board with that. But I've always had the mindset of, if you're through learning, you're through. And I just love to learn new things. And I just really embrace digital in publishing. But really, I've just, really grateful to be working with you guys, because, you were mentioning, you'd mentioned before HubSpot and CRMs, and, just getting in contact with the customer. Just the way people work is different. The whole traditional kind of, end-to-end workflow is different. So, the biggest difference is things used to be complex, where you went in a straight line and there were a lot of pieces to it, to things where now they are complicated, where it is, sorry, I've got that reversed. Complicated was a straight line, but now it's complex, where you have lots of different factors and things that can change what you do in random ways. But that's made things exciting. It's so exciting to be working now. I'm really grateful to be doing what I do in this field.
Oh, that's great to hear. And I know we have some things to talk about specifically. So let's talk about, you mentioned ESL, adult education.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your digital journey. Where are you now?
You
mentioned analog, and I love that you use that word, because I'm wondering how many people still even remember that word, right? And we went through a period where everything was, started with music. It was digital. It's digital.
Yeah.
We all thought, well, okay, digital, whatever. So where are you now?
I think if you talk about the digital journey, they talk about people who, back, a few years ago, they talked about people who were digital natives and digital immigrants. Now everyone's a digital native. I'm definitely a digital immigrant. I feel like I've almost earned my green card. But it's a learning process. I mean, one of the benefits, I think, someone in my experience, I'm right on the edge between the boomers and Gen X, is I know the time before, digital and social became the thing it is now. but you've been around long enough where they say if the past doesn't repeat itself, it certainly rhymes. It's like, yeah, it's one of these. Now, AI as a disruptor, that's a real game changer. There's some real differences there. But some of the things you have to think about in that are really different. So for me, coming into the digital age meant really thinking differently and really being open to very disruptive ways of thinking and being willing to be disrupted and willing to say, it's not a sense of loss, but it's a sense of gain. And so in order for me to get something new, I have to open up my hands to what I think I know and let that be taken away. And then I can get something and grow. And it coming from lots of different sources. I mean, you guys have been great, learning about HubSpot and, like so many times. But it's great because you are getting to the same result that you want in terms of sales, in terms of customer engagement, in deeper, more meaningful ways and lasting ways. And there's an ongoing conversation you can have with your customer in ways where you can differentiate yourself from your competitors and even future-proof, I think.
100%. You bring up such a great point, and I love just your flexibility with everything. I was at a meeting the other day, and someone said, I'm old school, right? And it's, and that old school sometimes limits people a little bit, because when you think you're old school, you're like, all right, here's how I do things. But it's some of the concepts, when you digitize those old school concepts, it's like,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? The past meets the future. It's always this great fusion, right? Into what does the hybrid look like for that? And I love that you've really embraced this technology, and it's just like, because you have a wealth of information, and you don't lose your information. You bring it into the space with you, right? So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. And I think that, we have to think about what we do and why we do it. So for example, when I'll give you an example, which is the old print example, which is now a digital example. So if you talk about there might be a teacher's edition for an ESL project that had all the things in it for a teacher, but that was all conceptualized around a printed book. But why do you do that? Well, that's because a teacher needs help. Okay, well, how does help come and how do they get it? Today, it can come digitally. It can be in print. It can be a combination of print and digital. It can be ongoing. It can be updated. How do they access it? Well, they might access it on their phone. They might access it online. They still might need a book. So the means change, but the solution, if you know your customer, can adapt with the technologies. And in fact, those same technologies that disrupt are technologies that can disrupt your old way of thinking and help you get to know your customer deeper than you could in other ways. So the same AI that can create this content or affect the way search engines work can actually affect the way that you search and get to know your customer. So you can sort of use AI against itself.
I love that. So, we talked a little bit about, some of the changes with some of these platforms, as you've seen over the summer. We had a lot happen, right? So I saw that you were writing some stuff in the chat. So I definitely want to, pick your brain a little bit. What are you thinking? So what did you think about Threads?
It's interesting. I saw a statistic of Threads, and I think I resonated with the comment because I'm right in the middle of it. They said that it was actually a Zuckerberg call that was reported to the team, where basically that the use of Threads had dropped 50% because people signed up, but they were like, I don't really need it, and then so they stopped using it. It was the same for me. It was like, just I looked at the logo that you showed about Threads, and it looked like all I saw was a tangled mess. I was like, I don't need more tangled mess in my life.
Right.
I got plenty of those. So that, but AI definitely has changed, and I can talk a little bit about how AI has changed how I work.
Yeah, do it. Definitely. Because now as you move through in this new iteration of what you're doing, right? You're a content creator, right? And so, adorning that hat
Yeah.
has had to shift things along with AI. So definitely talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I sit at the interface between the, my world is a series of Venn diagrams. So everything is related and overlaps, right? So you have your customer, you have your content, you have your marketing, you have your sales, you have your support, all those things. You have your technology and all that. And where those interact is what say the natural tendency is for in any business for those to go into silos. And you have to have someone who's outside of that looking in and saying, hey, did you think of this? Did you think of that? And that's my role, is to look at content, look at sales, look at marketing, look at the technology, look at the customers, and say, how do we get this right? How do these things talk to each other? So in creating content that can be marketed, finding what is the story of the content, what is the brand story, and how does the content speak to that in a way that doesn't require a salesperson to explain it, and that can really sell itself. So that's for me a really important part of what I do. And then how that relates to AI is I've used Bard and Chat GPT and so forth to go in and say, okay, tell me about the difference between this and this, and it gives me some information. And what it does is it kind of tells me what everybody else knows. And it gives some little chatty, like, well, it might be this, it might be that at the end. And I'm thinking, oh man, that just sounds so much like AI. That's such, I don't want to use the word, but it's not good, right? And I thought, okay, but it's cut the vegetables for me. It's been my sous chef. All right, how do I know the customers and I know what we want to do, what I want to accomplish. How do I take that and then create that content in a way that helps, my client market their product to those particular customers in a way that I know that they need. So what's important is that I can then say, I know these are the pain points. These are the solutions that they're looking for that might, be part of an FAQ, for example. Does it do this? Does it do that? And I can say, all right, here's what it does and here's how it does that. And, that the Chat GPT, it's funny because the first time I used Chat GPT, I thought, I can't use that. That's cheating. But it's like, no. Use it as an outline and right over top of that, add my personality onto it, add what I know about the story and the user journey. And it's really helped.
Oh man.
That's yes. And I think one point I want to just pull on a little bit is that point about what AI is pulling from. So if you are creating content, you've got to keep in mind that AI is pulling from the existing body of content that's out there, right? So AI is not creating something new. It's more of a mixer, right? So it's going to pull and mix and find exactly what you asked, and everywhere it was answered already, right? So you've got to keep that in mind. And that's why, as you put it, to put your layer on top of that is so important, because that's where you get back to originality, right? That's exactly where you get back. So you've got to keep in mind whether you're using AI for social media content, for your email marketing, that it's just reading what's already been put out. It's not giving you a gauge on was that content useful, relevant, did it drive traffic? It's not doing any of those things. It's just saying, hey, this is what's already out there and this is how best I can put it together. As you said, sous chef. So this is what's in my kitchen. Sous chef said, hey, chef, this is what we have. We have onions, potatoes, but you've got to say, what's the dish? What's the dish?
Absolutely.
And I think you have to be responsible when using AI, right? Because it's not always telling the truth. And so
say that, yeah.
You really have to go back and check. I am at a point now where the tool we use Jasper a lot. And sometimes I'm like, keep up with me, right? Because now I've started to use Jasper in a different way. I know what I want it to tell me. And so I'm now like, hey, here are my guidelines. Give me this information. And I'm like, don't give me random dates. Because it will give you just random, it will make a date up, it will make things up. And so you have a responsibility to make sure that the information that you're putting out there is accurate. If it's your opinion, you're saying, hey, this is why, this is my strong opinion, because this is how I support that, because you still need to present yourself as an industry expert. So do not let AI do all the work for you. People can definitely, people can tell, they can absolutely tell now.
Yeah, and that's a really great point, because I've even seen the embedded bias in AI. It's subtle, and I don't know whether that comes down to, to the models that it's using and the data that it's brought in, or there's something about my prompt that prompted that. I think there've been a lot of posts, a lot of stuff about how to write better prompts, and I think that's really important. But you can't, you just can't trust it to do your work for you. And in fact, you are letting yourself and your clients and eventually and ultimately your customers down, because the customers, you want to connect them with the solution that you have. You're letting them down if you don't have the opportunity to add in that expertise that you have, that X factor, that personality, that enthusiasm, that story, that spin, that packaging, framing, whatever it is. AI can never do that for you. It just can't. So yeah, I mean, how do we hone that voice, that personality? It comes from knowing your customers. But for me, I mean, I don't know where I heard it. It might have been Seth Godin or someone, but I have a Post-it note here on my desk for myself. It says, "My business starts with my desire to make a difference." And if I'm ever coming in and sitting down at this desk to do something other than to make a difference, then I just need to get up, walk away, come down, sit again, and start over, because that's really where it starts.
Agreed. I love that. Oh, that was a good one. So this has been awesome, right? This summer wrap up has been good. So Jeff, I'm going to put you on the spot again. So
okay.
Coming. What are you thinking? What are your plans as you move into your, content creation role? What are you thinking are some of your goals that you want to execute for this Q4 season?
This fourth season, some of the goals that I want to do is I want to build on the experiences that I have, and I want to be able to show prospective clients what I've done and what I can do, and help them, again, understanding from my experience in the business of what the pain points are, what the problems you're trying to overcome, whether it be, sales growth or profitability, or, defending your market share, or breaking into a new market. They're all different strategies. And, how do we understand those clients? So my goal is to be able to explain, what I've done and what I do, and to have examples of that, and to show some of the end-to-end results of what we used to call, my team, we used to call rats and rate. Rats is right at the start, and rates is right at the end. So it right at the start means you're thinking about everything. You're thinking about the marketing, the benefits of thinking about the marketing and your customers, and building that into the whole product journey and user experience journey. And then right at the end, it's like, well, where do you want to be, and how do you know you've been there? So not having KPIs that are all over the place. So it is framing this, with digital at the center, as a unified experience where benefit can be added to any place along the way. So whether it, I think now we talk about content creation, I've really become passionate about content strategy, because content strategy isn't just a marketing way of looking at marketing. It's not a way of looking at building your, say, ESL, educational material. It's not a way of how you repurpose things in the digital space. It's actually the whole story. And that if you think about things from the beginning, and you build what you build, and conceive what you conceive for reuse, and thinking about something like HubSpot and how it can reuse it, you can revolutionize your business. And I think, I just think it's incredible opportunities. Yeah. If we think about content strategy for that way. So content strategy is my thing right now. So.
That's a great thing. Digital strategy is my thing. Yeah. Content strategy is my side thing, but it all connects together, right? Because have that content strategy, you can really understand your messaging, everything. It's everything you do. It's what you put in the books. It's the messaging to the
Yeah.
clients. It
Yeah.
is the whole pie, right? So
Right.
I think
Right.
sometimes we are sometimes guilty of creating content just to create content, and content strategy moves you away from that. It says this is the content that your target audience is looking for you to actually create, so that they can start moving through your customer journey, because that's what they need in order to buy, to be drawn in, all the things. So it again becomes very customer focused, from when you look at it from a content strategy standpoint, unless you remove
Yeah.
yourself as the business, and it's less me and more about what is my customer looking for. So I
Yeah.
love that. So yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I just want to say that it's, the content strategy is not, just is print, but it's all, but it is definitely a digital strategy as well, because all of this content must exist in a digital format,
Sure.
and that the digital can either be a multiplier or a blocker, right? So you have something that is like locked into this particular form of digital that it can't be reused, or is it a way that can be reused and multiplied, and you could use something else? So some of the work that we did together, that material could then be used here, it could be used there, it could influence something else down the line, and then be used to refer back here.
Right.
So, but it has to be thought of, I think probably digital first. So maybe it is a digital content. If not a digital content strategy, is a content strategy with digital at the center of it.
100%. Yes. Yes. All right. All right.
Yeah, we could have you all afternoon.
We can. But the summer wrap up is just 20, 30 minutes. So,
Okay.
Jeff, I have to have you back again. Of course, you're welcome so many times to this show. We love having you. We love everything that you say. So stick around backstage and we'll catch up with you. So, Jeff, again, tell the people who you are before you head out of here.
Sure. Jeff Krum, so independent publishing consultant. So I work on content, obviously content strategy, but also really focusing on educational publishing with that emphasis on ESL, and a lot of work with U.S. Adult, but also international as well. Really bringing solutions, because one of the things, I love education because it makes a difference, and so really want to make a difference to everyone who touches whatever I do. Ultimately, the learners, but the teachers who teach them, who are heroes, the people who work to create the material to go out there, and the people who spread the word, the people who are crunching away at the digital in the background. I want to make all of their lives smoother and better and more effective, and make it worth getting up in the morning to do what you do.
Well, you did that for us. So I can say that working with you from a content strategy standpoint was just amazing. And you actually connected so many dots for us when we worked with you on the Cambridge project. So super excited about that. And I can't wait to see what you are working on and how you're moving through developing strong content strategies. Hire Jeff. He knows what he's doing. Shameless plug. All right, Jeff, we'll see you backstage later on.
All right, Jeff. Thanks.
All right, Mike. Well, we've done our first summer wrap-up show. What do you think so far? We finally did it.
I think this is good stuff, So everybody listening, remember, we just want to give you 20 minutes of thoughts in digital as we wrap up the summer, as we head into Q4. Hear from people like Jeff, right, who are adopting digital at a fantastic rate and seeing where the leveraging can happen, right? So it's great. This was a fun show.
It was a fun show. I love a good fun show. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for joining us. For those of you that are checking it out on the replay, definitely drop some comments in there. We're always excited to hear from you guys. Have an amazing Wednesday. We'll see you next Monday. All right. Take it easy. Monday at noon, summer wrap up. Bye. Take care.